It may seem like horses and Native Americans have been partnered together since the dawn of time. However, that is not the case. According to the fossil record, horses originated in North America around 4 million years ago and spread to Eurasia 2 or 3 million years ago. Near the end of the Pleistocene, the last prehistoric North American horses died out. It wasn't until horses were reintroduced to North America during the Spanish conquest that this partnership could begin. The Spanish in New Mexico used the Pueblo and Navajo Indians as slaves and workers. They learned about horses working on the Spanish ranches. Even though it was illegal for Indians to own horses or guns, they still learned how to train, ride, and use horses to carry packs. The Pueblo revolted against the Spanish, forcing them to quickly leave, leaving their horses behind. The Pueblo began selling and trading horses to other Indians and taught the tribes about horses. Horses revolutionized entire cultures in several ways. Some tribes who were sedentary adopted horses and a nomadic lifestyle in less than a generation. Before horses, people and dogs carried all the belongings from site to site. Horses can carry much more than human and dogs combined, as well as travel long distances with ease. The size of the horse allowed Indians to acquire larger lodges and more possessions. Children and elders, who in the past slowed the tribe's progress, were mounted or tied to saddles during migration. Horses also revolutionized how buffalo were hunted. Buffalo are not easy to hunt on foot. They can run faster than a hunter can run after them. With a horse, a hunter can chase after the buffalo and keep up with them. A group of hunters can ride horses up to a herd of buffalo and get close enough to shoot arrows at them before they run away. A buffalo horse was trained to run beside the buffalo during a hunt. Without the especially trained horses, it was hard for warriors to provide enough meat for an entire village. The highly valued buffalo horses were kept inside the lodge at night or picketed nearby. Along with hunting, Indians used horses to make war and go on raids. They could go much further than they ever could on foot and arrive rested and ready to fight. The tribes who learned how to use horses first and quickly had a huge advantage over other tribes. As ranges expanded, more frequent encounters with distant tribes increased the likelihood of warfare and competition. In most tribes, a person's wealth was measured in horses, and great honors came to those who could capture them from an enemy. Horse stealing between tribes became the #1 sport on the plains and was considered an honorable way for a young warrior to gain experience and fame. Horses were the one trade item that did not make the Indians dependent on fur traders. Everything connected with the horse, Indians could do for themselves, and in most cases, they surpassed the white man in riding and handling horses. It is important to note that a majority of the time, Native Americans did not round up wild mustangs to tame and train. These wild horses were hard to catch, and once caught, hard to keep and handle. Instead, Native Americans set up breeding programs selecting the best traits to be passed on. The Blackfoot bred for color, size, and speed. The Nez Perce are known for breeding Appaloosas, the horses with the spotted coats. The Appaloosa horse was not only a source of pride and transportation for the Nez Perce people, it was also a source of wealth. Historians believe they were the first tribe to breed selectively for specific traits, intelligence and speed, keeping the best and trading away those that were less desirable. The Nez Perce became superior breeders, selecting stallions and mares with care and gelding inferior male animals. It has been said that the Nez Perce and the Cayuse horses were of such quality that other Indian tribes often chose to steal them or, if necessary, to barter for them in preference to the Spanish horses. For most tribes, each warrior had an eternity horse that received special attention and care. The most prized of these were the medicine hat paints because it was believed they had magical powers that made their rider invincible in combat. Native Americans believe that death is inevitable and that a warrior who does not die at night or is not scalped after death goes to the land beyond the sun. There, his spirit is joined by the spirit of his eternity horse. They ride together, feeling no pain, fatigue, hunger, or thirst for all eternity. A medicine hat horse is not a particular breed. It's a particular pattern of colored markings where the base of the horse is white, but the ears and around the entire top of the head is brown, black, or roan. The important distinguishing characteristic of a medicine hat is the head. The rest of the body can be any other pattern. Some tribes had legends where a rider of a medicine hat horse would never be hurt on the back of his horse. Some were said to be able to warn his or her master of danger, or be able to find game in the most barren of landscapes. A blue-eyed medicine hat was especially prized for his or her unusual beauty. The blue eyes of the horse, often known as sky eyes, made the horse seem otherworldly or ghostly. Medicine hats were also considered incredibly lucky. In wearing a magic symbol, the horse personified the magic qualities of a tribe. If a tribe lost its medicine hat, misfortune was soon to come because all of the good magic was gone. Because medicine hat horses are predominantly white, they often had symbols painted on them representing different things. A circle is drawn around the horse's eye and nostril for alert vision and a keen sense of smell. Thunder stripes on the horse's front legs are drawn to please the Indians' god of war. Arrowheads on all four hooves made the horse swift and nimble-footed. Left and right handprints were outlined upon the horse's chest, which showed that he'd knocked down an enemy. The horse's battle scars, always painted in red, and the pat handprint, left hand drawn on the horse's right hip, were the highest honors. The pat handprint was always reserved exclusively for the horse who had brought his master back home from a dangerous mission unharmed. While there are many advantages to having horses, there are also a few disadvantages. Horse-drawn travois limited where the villages could travel. It took at least a 3 to 4 foot wide trail to pull a travois over. Another drawback to the use of horses was in the selection of campsites. Indian villages with horses were confined to areas with good pasture and in the winter a plentiful supply of sweet cottonwood bark for horse feed. This made the village vulnerable to attack by other tribes and the United States cavalry. Overall, the introduction of horses to Native American society provided very positive changes in their culture and way of life.